I have added a stereo master fader on the DL. I'll make sure that you do as well. The next step in mixing after separating our drums is to add some reverb, or at least this is the step that I am showing you now. These are standards that will be in all of our projects. So a reverb is kind of an echo, not an echo like yelling across the Grand Canyon and hearing a repetition like, hello, hello, hello. That would be a delay effect. Reverb is more like walking into the gym and yelling, hey, hey. You know, that extended tail of a sound that you hear in a large space. And we try and emulate that digitally using what are called reverbs. So what we're going to do is I am clicking on the track that is just inside of the stereo master fader because I want to create a new track just to the left of the master fader. I am looking at the mix window, so I am not in the edit window for this. I think it's easier to visualize in the mix window. I'm going to go up to track and new. I'm going to make a stereo. I am not making audio. I am not making instrument. I am not making master fader. I am making an aux input track. And because we're only making one, I'm going to take the opportunity to name this right now Reverb. Okay, so reverb sounds like this. Okay, so I'm going to do what I don't want you to do, and that is to place a reverb directly on your track. Now you can, like functionally, it will work. Okay. For one, it's way too much reverb. And two, reverb is a very processor intensive effect. And if I wanted kick on my, if I wanted reverb on my hi-hat and my keys and my lead, a little bit on my kick, but not so much, and not so much on my bass, then I would have like 5 reverbs. And of course, this is already a small session. So the way that we do this is by using an aux input track. There are 3 things we need to do. We need to make the track, which we've already done. We need to insert a reverb. So in insert A, we're going to go multi-channel down to reverb, and we are going to choose deverb, which is a standard that we all have. And then we need to set up the input, because what we're going to be doing is sending sounds to and through this aux input track. So we come down to no input and we make it a bus. I'm going to choose 3/4 because this yellow indicates that I am using it already and I don't want to go revealing things. All right, so now this track is done. That does not mean that we hear reverb. Concentrating on that snare drum right now, what I'm going to do is come over to the sends section of my snare track. And I'm going to click on send A, and I'm going to go to bus. So what I want to do is I want to match the bus of the aux input that I want to send to, which is 3/4. This floating fader just popped up, and this fader will dictate the amount of the snare drum that I am sending through this reverb track. So I will do that while it's playing. Okay, I don't want that much, so it's to taste. This is something that's very subjective. There are some general rules. You know, again, as I mentioned, I don't use that much reverb on kick drum. And as you want reverb on something, you just go and you set up that aux, that bus. And every time this pops up, it is now associated with the track that is highlighted. All right, so something about expand, you have some effects down here, and it looks like there's already a hall reverb. So I'm just going to turn that off. So I have control over my reverb right here. You can definitely hear it. All right, so once you get that reverb set up, just highlight, a 4-measure section. I'm really listening to the snare drum to hear some reverb.